From the title of the video, you're probably like, okay, another gimmick, another dude is saying I need to stop doing this and take a cold plunge or whatever. But I get that. I understand that. But this is for real. This is a little bit different. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. Have been struggling with just unreal, chronic. I'm not sure if that's the right term or like it applies, but an unreal amount of phone usage and technology and swiping and endless scrolling, and it's taken such a big part of my life that now I want to do everything I can to get away from it and just be a part of real life, you know? Oh, that woman just made a really nice painting. Where was I? Yeah, I think for one, it's funny, right? Like, we're human beings, right? And we start off with absolutely nothing. We start off with no technology, just the basic stuff, barely learning how to make fire, barely knowing like that the wheel is gonna change civilization forever, and how to cook food and preserve with salt and like just all that stuff. Like we start there, and now we're here. Like, for a long time, humans have, in order to survive, had to do something. Like, they had to struggle. They had to. It was a fight. It was a daily fight to survive. It was a daily fight to, gather food, to cook it, to get clean water. Like, I mean, in some places of the world, that's still a fight today. And in the Western, specifically Western or first world countries and advanced parts, I say advanced, but to us it's normal, right? These parts of the world, there's no struggle. They like following me, they're jamming hard, but like, dude, what was I saying? I was saying that, and just about, there was always this struggle. There was always this fight to survive, right? Everyone was outside. Everyone was outdoors. There was no like sedentary jobs. There was nothing like, there was no social media marketers or influencers, or even dial it back, there was no office workers, or, and maybe you can classify them as office workers, but it looked completely different from how it was, back then to today. But you understand my point. It's like it wasn't as developed as it is today, and now we're super comfortable, and this comfort is now like backfiring. This comfort is now backfiring on humans. Everything that we've ever done has been an attempt of allowing us to live more comfortably, allowing us to be able to sleep better and recover better and have AC and just make everyday life easier. And now it's like backfiring. So now all these advancements are like backfiring on us, on humans, advanced humans, right? Well, not like advanced humans like robots or bionics, but advanced in the sense of like, have a comfortable life. They have air conditioned and homes with doors and windows and locks and cars and Uber and DoorDash and all this stuff that, like, man, 1,000 years ago would be like dystopian. And it honestly feels like the movie WALL-E, where all the people are like huge and they don't do anything. They just sit in their chairs and they can just control their life from their chair. Like, they don't have to get up ever from the chair. They don't have to get up to get food. They don't have to get up to, I don't think they hold their children. Like, they're just living on a ship because they've destroyed the world. And now this ship, what's it called? The Axiom, I think. Well, there was this project, right, to like renew the earth, and like they trashed it. And so they were gonna send all these robots to go clean it up, which is what WALL-E is. He's one of those. And the amount of trash is just insane. And maybe our world isn't covered in trash. Well, I cannot say that. Yo, that music is so loud. Anyway, okay, yeah, we got a lot of trash for sure. But like, obviously not to the extent of like entire countries, like the whole country is covered in trash. There's not a single tree. Like, we're not there yet, obviously, right? You can see all these trees. This is my beautiful lake. Not my lake, but you get it. It's where I'm from. But we're not that far off. People rarely go outside. Man, like, I remember when I was a kid. I'm 24. I'm gonna be 25 in a couple months, and like, the gap between people my age and people born a couple years later, like 2005 even, like, the gap is so huge. I look at parks and playgrounds, and they're hardly ever like as packed as they were, or like and it's so sad. It's just this we're losing our connection to like humanity in a way, or like what's beautiful about society and interacting with other people. We're having our own little private societies within our phones. Honestly, it's a society that we have in our own phone, and all we're doing is just mindlessly scrolling, and mindlessly buying this, and mindlessly like going about our day, and every day is a gift. Every day is truly a gift. Just waking up is so like such a blessing. And yeah, so all this to say what? How does this tie in with the whole don't walk with music? Like, you're probably wondering, like, how in the world did I get this far, right? Okay, from all the dystopian apocalyptic stuff to now don't walk with headphones. Like, that's supposed to be the thing that fixes it. Okay, no, right? But I'm just speaking from personal experience. Or whether, how does it tie in? Okay, this is how it ties in. So, the other day, I was listening to the Huberman Lab podcast, and I was listening to one of his guests. I forget the name. It's messed up. But he wrote a book called The Comfort Crisis. Here we go again, right? Another person on YouTube talking about I'm too comfortable. I know. But it is what's happening to me, right? So listen to the podcast, and he talks about how we're always consuming media. Like, some of us can't even just be in the house without like a screen or a video playing, because we need the noise, and we can't even deal with the silence, you know? Or like, even if I'm not like, I could just be sitting or like cooking, or I have to have a video playing, or I'm eating, right? And this is me. This is so me, right? This is me. This is really me. Every time I eat, I throw on a YouTube video and watching, right? I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world to do. I'm just saying, like, I'm always consuming media, and I'm pretty sure that you are too, right? Always, whether in the form of just background noise or a song, and there's nothing, trust me, I love music. I play music. It's the best thing. But there's something about just being in the silence and being like in nature that is just so reflective almost. And there was a moment where he talked about boredom, and does boredom need to be like absolute boredom, like you just dread every minute, or is it more like, can you be reflective? And so the whole point of that was to show that, like, often when we're bored, or I would rather use the term, like, we don't have any like stimulant right now, like, there's nothing stimulating in the technological sense, like a video playing, or a screen, or scrolling, or listening to music or a podcast. Like, when we're just alone with our thoughts, we are forced to hear ourselves think. And try to remember the last time that you've heard yourself. When was the last time that you were alone with your thoughts? When was the last time that you had an idea that you wrote down? Or when was the last time that you thought about your life? You know, when was the last time that you thought about, like, your decisions and how they affected the course of your life and where you've gone? And like, have you thought about that? Have you taken a second? And so the reason why I say this is because not so long ago, I I went on a walk, just like I'm on right now, in the same place. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful walk, beautiful trail. And I was gonna play the podcast, right? I was gonna finish it. I really enjoyed that podcast. I'm like, I'm gonna go on this walk, and as I'm walking, I'm gonna listen to this podcast. And all of a sudden, I heard a part where it's like about there was this thing where like these guys had like this long flight somewhere, and they decided to do it with like no music, no headphones, no movie playing, like nothing, just completely raw dog it, right? And it got me thinking, like, when's the last time I'd like approached anything with that? Like, every time I go to the gym, I have music. Every time I go for a walk, I have music. Every time I go for a run, I have music. Whenever I'm cleaning, I have music or a video playing. Whenever I'm working on something or a project, I have, not all the time, but you know what I mean? Like, you get the idea. Like, we always are playing something or consuming something, and we never hear our own thoughts. And for some reason, like, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just go on this walk, and I'm not gonna listen to anything. I put my headphones in, but I turned off the podcast. And I'm like, what do I do right now? So what I began to do was, I don't know exactly why, but I began to reflect on every single financial decision or work-related event or change in my life that I've ever done or ever been through. And I walked so long. Not like I'll walk for like 10 hours type thing or like a marathon runner type. Just for your average person who doesn't go on walks like a whole lot. Like, I work out, but I don't go on walks a lot. But I went on this walk and I start talking, and I don't want to stop. I start talking to myself, and that sounds kooky, right? I know it does. You look crazy, right? So every time I walk past somebody, I'm like, all right, let me be quiet. But I'm walking and walking, and I'm talking to myself, and I go back to my first job, my first entrepreneurial like investment. It's cool. So I think back on my first job, my first entrepreneurial investment. Like, I remember selling shoes, and I got into like Amazon and just a whole bunch of stuff, right? And eventually, like, as I grow and post more videos, I want to talk more about those experiences and how those have built a certain skill set that got me where I am today. And I'm not like an ultra wealthy person, but it's still a daily fight, right? You got to grind. You got to do something with your life. Don't want to get too off topic though, right? So I'm on this walk, much like I am right now, and I just begin sorting through every decision that I ever made, work related or money related, and I'm thinking about everything I learned and everything I've done and what type of person I became because of those decisions and the bad stuff and how that impacted me and how it made me smarter with the next decisions I was going to be making. I'm like, man, like, I don't remember the last time I did anything like this. I always walk and play music, and had I kept playing the podcast, I wouldn't have had that moment of reflection. And I was going through a pretty stressful moment, but when I did that, like, my mind went through like drink a glass of water after being dehydrated for a long time. And my mind felt so clear. It felt like I had these knots in my head, and after walking and talking to myself and just thinking, right? Just allowing myself to think and not being just poured into with media and other stimulants, right? I'm just thinking about everything. Like, I'm organizing, I'm like doing spring cleaning in my mind. That's how it felt, at least. And now I'm here today, right? I'm here walking in nature, and like, it feels beautiful. Like, this is the sunset in my city, right? It's a really small town. But yeah, this is the sunset, like, and it's normal, right? But I'll look at it and I'm like, man, that's beautiful. But I'm always listening to something. I got music playing, and there's nothing wrong with music, but hearing yourself think, like thinking intentionally, and not only that, but what's super important is like being connected with nature. And I don't mean that in like a new age type of way, but just like man, like, humans were meant to be outside and in the sun. Like how many people do you know that never touch grass or never like work out even? And even when they work out, like, look at treadmills today. That's one of the things that they talked about in the podcast. Is like, look at treadmills today, and it's in an air-conditioned room, has a little TV in front of it. You can track exactly the amount of calories that you burned, and you can track your heart rate. And it's like, how can we make, it's like the guy said in the podcast, we have to kind of manufacture the way of life that we used to have through exercise now, like today, right? Because daily life was a struggle. It was a fight. You had to walk, you had to move, you had to lift things. you had to function. Look at like today, like the rates of like depression and self-deletion, to even things like relationships and family and what people should do with their life, like and marriage and divorce and all this extra junk, man. Like I think about, like I know people who are some of the smartest people I know that have no idea what they want to do with their life and feel like their life is meaningless. And it's like, bro, like just live. Like you don't have to have it all figured out like right then, but just live. Like you're overthinking it. And even my wife sometimes, like she's the best person I know, right? And she gets so stressed sometimes and so, worried about things, and it's valid, right? She has valid stresses. But again, I'm like, love, you should probably go outside. You should probably get some sunlight, get some air. You can't just stay inside. And every time we go on a walk, she says she feels better. And usually on these walks, we're talking to each other. Pro tip for married couples, go on a walk together and talk. And the first couple minutes might be like just about blah blah stuff, and then a couple minutes pass, and then you get into like the good stuff, and you get into her thoughts and she gets in yours, and you guys discuss them, and it's beautiful, right? And you guys just feel so much more connected. But this is like a core part of like who we are as beings, as like our function and how we're supposed to operate, and what's our optimal setting. It's out here. It's walking like this, not just being cooped up inside. Am I saying that nobody should be comfortable? Am I saying that nobody should have AC? No. I'm not giving up my AC, right? I'm not giving up my bed. But there should be some sort of balance, right, to your life. There should be some sort of balance, and you shouldn't just simply never walk anymore or never go outside. Like, I don't want to get off the rails, right? I don't want to lose. I'm overthinking this. First video, right? My point is, walking without headphones for me, walking outside for me, allows me to reconnect, right? It gives me the time that I need. And maybe you don't need to walk for that. Maybe you just need to put the phone down. Maybe you just need to like stop scrolling. And it wasn't like I thought about it super hard or anything. It was just simply like, I'm gonna walk and I'm just not play the podcast. I'm not gonna listen to music. I'm just gonna think about this stuff. Now I see myself regularly doing that now, and I feel so much better. I feel so in tune with my thoughts, and I remember things, and I feel more creative and more expressive, and all good things. And my point is, if you want to wear your headphones, fine. Like, if you want to listen to the podcast, fine. There's nothing wrong with it, right? I'm not saying I'm never gonna listen to headphones again, but because you also don't want to overdo it. You also don't want to just like be a weirdo and try to force things. Like, you're not always gonna want to do that. You want to listen to a good song and like appreciate that stuff too. But what I'm saying is, like, give yourself the chance, give your mind the chance to breathe, and give yourself the chance to sift through. You might find some like really good ideas. You might find some inspiration. You might tell yourself, like, look, I've been through all this, and you know what, I can do this, or I can chase that dream, or I can start that project, or whatever it is. Like, you can do it. So learn to just sit with your thoughts and open up, and you might feel better. That's what happened to me.